Right now, I'm a throw everything in wherever it fits sort of guy. Today though, that might actually change. I've managed to get my hands on one of these bad boys, the iFlight 33-liter backpack, which is an FPV specific bag. Never in my life have I used an FPV specific bag, and to be honest with you, I'm not actually sure if I see much of a point in them. But that's what I'm here to discover today. Can this FPV specific backpack actually beat my daily work backpack, or should I just save my money and stick with what I've got?
That's a rap, man. Not for them facts, man. A slap to the face. Reality's back, hand. I'm trying to keep it real and keep my stacks, fam. But Anti's killing for a rack, rapping in a trash can.
First, let's run through everything that I personally need an FPV backpack to carry for me. We've got 3 controllers, 4 drones, 2 goggles, 15 batteries, a GoPro, a Canon R6, and a toolkit. As you can probably tell, I don't tend to want to pack very light, meaning that usually I have to use 2 backpacks in order to make sure everything can come along. I fit all of my gear in like this and then carry it around like this. Yeah, I know. Bring in the iFlight backpack and it's a completely different story. By packing the bag in a specific way, which I'll run through in just a minute, I can actually fit all of that gear in without squishing a thing. And yes, that was very much so my first impression of it. I was genuinely kind of blown away. Straight off the bat, this iFlight backpack absolutely smokes the storage solution of my Peak Design backpack, which cost about 3 times more, and it did so without having to cram anything in anywhere. So how did I pack it all to make all of that work so easily? Let's start off on the outside. I've got 3 quads all sitting here real snugly, they're not going anywhere. On the side here, I've just got GoPro ND tucked away. On the other side, this is my toolkit. It's in a DJI goggles case, but that's just got my tools in there. If you stand it up, on the top here, I've got my neck strap for my controller and also a GoPro 10. So there's chills in there, and that goes in there too. Nothing else on the outside, so if we head on into the inside, up the top I've got 3 pouches. I'm using 2 of them. This has got the Avada's ND filters, and this here is my ELRS module and a Crossfire module as well. Sit those down like that. This is the rest of the bag. So TX16S, placeholder for the camera that you're watching this on right now, Mini 3 Pro, goggles and remote controller, goggles V2 with the analog stuff on there, and then batteries galore. All fits in there really nicely. I'm just stoked with how clean and easy it is. Boom. Ready to go. Alright, so far I've only had good things to say, which is great, but unfortunately this backpack does have some more minor downfalls that I'm not super stoked with. Before we get to those though, let's focus on a few things that I actually love. There's no denying that from a first look at this thing, it has been built really well and looks damn stunning. I'm a massive fan of the fabric to plastic and also the small red accents scattered around the place. It gives off some real MKBHD vibes, I won't lie. Anyways, as we take a closer peek at the pack, you'll start to notice that the attention to detail is real. The zippers are water resistant, the bottle holders stretch out with a color pop, the bottom has spiked grip plates, the handle is a large plastic grip, the padding is thick, you name it. From the outside, there really is nothing that I can fault in regards to the build. It's sexy, it's clean, and it's functional. Let's talk about that. There are 6 zipped up compartments here on the outside of the pack. 1 holds a rain protector, 1 folds out fully with 4 more compartments, 1 half folds out with a large compartment, 1 half folds out like a bowl, 1 stows away your laptop, and the last one is the main access hatch. This is where I think functionality is actually going really strong. This top little pouch has got 2 tabs that stop it from folding out completely. Now I get it, it's a boring little feature, but when you're just trying to stow something away like a GoPro in there, it's really nice to not have to think about things falling out the second that you unzip it. The same actually goes for the large compartment zipper. It catches itself and creates a small platform so stuff just doesn't go sliding on out. The other side, however, doesn't need all these tabs as it's all concealed mini compartments, so in theory, nothing should just fall out when you open it up. Just those small touches really make a big difference to that feeling that I get while using the pack. It makes me actually feel like iFlight might have put a bit of thought into the intricate design. The next big thing here is obviously the straps and this semi-hardback shell. These work just as you imagine that they should. Nothing too special here, but very functional. This slightly softer than hardback shell actually comes across to me as a good thing too. Instead of a solid glossy plastic piece which will most likely be prone to scratches, this matte finish hard foam seems to be the more durable option. Sure, it might get bunged up a bit over time, but it's not super soft that it's going to catch on things and rip, and it's also not super solid to the point that your quads are going to start to move around while it's on your back. It's kind of like the perfect in-between and almost feels similar to something like leather for the sake of comparison. Flipping on over, we've got the padding, straps, and the laptop pouch. I'll be straight up in saying that I don't usually tend to like laptop pouches on backpacks unless I'm traveling on overnight stays and whatnot, so I feel like in this use case, for me at least, this space could have been used for something that I think would have been a massive improvement on this bag. That improvement can only come after I run you through some of the downfalls, but thankfully, we aren't actually there just yet. These straps here, these are fairly comfortable, not too thin, and the back padding also doesn't disappoint. I've got a feeling that your back is certainly going to throw a bit of sweat out with this padding, as it's not like super breathable, but it's pretty standard to most other packs out there with padding on it. These waist straps and chest strap help to disperse the weight off of just your shoulders and rest it more on your hips. I'm certainly a fan of this for the longer days out, but for the usual daily trip, it does seem a little bit overkill to have these on 24/7. That's actually where my thought for an improvement comes into action though. Over here on my Peak Design backpack, we've got these magnetic flaps, one on either side, and these, surprisingly, stowaway waist straps. It just makes sure that I have them whenever I need them, but it doesn't get in the way when I'm just trying to, use it for daily use. I think it's a really smart design and I genuinely love it. What would have been amazing to see over on the iFlight pack is if they turned the laptop compartment into the storage area for the waist straps. I feel like 9 times out of 10, I'd rather have waist straps for big hiking days out than carry a laptop with me. I don't know, maybe you're different and take a laptop everywhere, and if that's the case, the laptop pouch is perfect. It houses up to a 17-inch laptop, of which I definitely don't have, but I mean, it fits my 13-inch laptop perfectly fine, and honestly, it kind of just swallows it up and disappears into the bag. Now, just before we do move on to the inside of the bag, let's wrap on the exterior with a quick gripe that I'm sure many may actually overlook. Unfortunately, I cannot. These drink bottle holders, or tripod holders, whatever you want to call them, they're certainly a nice touch, don't get me wrong here. They're very helpful, and I don't understand when companies don't at least include one drink bottle holder. Like, bro, I'm gonna die of dehydration without that. But look, for real, this is me being nitpicky here. I constantly take a bottle of water with me wherever I go, to stay hydrated and all that. But for some reason, the sheer size of these pockets, they're super loose, and they just don't inspire confidence to hold my bottle in place while I'm out hiking or something. The best thing that I can do is use this strap here and actually clip the bottle in, making sure it can actually never fall out. But look, I get it. It's a small detail, but it did bug me enough just to feel the need to mention it. Something that not many manufacturers do is include free stuff. That's why I was a bit surprised to find out that this Lipo bag is actually included with this bag purchase. It fits in real snugly in the bottom of the pack and is just convenient to pull out whenever you want to grab all of your batteries at once. To add a cherry on top here too, this Lipo bag is actually fire resistant, so if something does go wrong with your batteries during transportation, like in your car or while you're walking along, you can have a bit more peace of mind knowing that your batteries aren't just going to burst into uncontrollable flames. It's not fully fireproof though, so it's certainly not going to protect you entirely, but it's always a nice backup safety feature to have in my opinion. Taking a look a bit deeper into what's actually offered inside, we'll notice that there's really not a lot happening, and that's a great thing. Aside from the 3 zipper compartments in the lid of the bag, all we have are these Velcro soft dividers, and these dividers are the main thing that help you sort out exactly how you want to store your gear. They can be changed really easily just by pulling at them and then moving them around to suit your needs. In fact, they can be changed almost a little bit too easily. This is actually a really unfortunate downfall of this bag. These Velcro dividers and the strength in which they actually attach to this bag are not ideal. You can see here, the corner just simply refuses to stay stuck down even when you push it, and yeah. So the moment that you go to put any form of weight up the top here without anything being stored below it, you'll see it just, the structure and strength simply isn't there. That's unfortunate because this is such a main aspect of the bag. I mean, sure, look, there is the argument that you'll most likely have other gear in here to support these dividers, but I know for a fact they could have been much stronger. Compare those with the Peak Design ones. These are way thinner. I think these are a lot better designed, but these aren't coming out anytime soon. That's such a good thing for me because I like to set up the dividers exactly how I want and then keep it set up like that for a long time. But look, if we go past this downfall and use the bag with gear within it, I don't actually seem to notice the weak Velcro. Something else that you may have noticed too is these weird plastic pieces that just stick out of the bag. These are actually for an RGB LED module that you can buy as an added extra. I'm not sure why you'd be keen on RGBing out your backpack, like weird flex, but okay man. It does actually slightly annoy me having these plastic tabs running around as they make the finish look super messy and unappealing. If I was you, I'd just be cutting these pieces off and never looking back. Not even once. That does all leave me, however, with my biggest compliment that I have for this bag now. That thing is honestly the sheer storage ability that this bag offers. It's just mental. It has a great depth to it that fits my DJI goggles like a glove, perfect width for my chunky TX16S, and simply room for everything, including cameras, and that's what I need for a day out. This ultimately leaves me with the question of, is it worth it? Is it worth paying another 250 New Zealand dollars to get an FPV specific pack the same size as my current camera packs? You see, I went into this hand on heart thinking that an FPV bag would be good for people without any other packs around, but would be fairly similar to the camera bags that I already own being a content creator. I still think that an FPV bag is a good buy for someone without any pack at all, but I now also think that even for a content creator like me, having an FPV backpack might very well be worth the extra investment. The fact that I'm not only able to store all of my FPV gear in one bag, which is already a massive improvement, I can also bring along my photography drone and mirrorless camera too. So, well done iFlight, this is a solid bag. I've actually got to go and give it back to my friend now who kindly let me borrow it for a few days, but I do think that I'm in the market for an FPV bag now. If you want to go and pick one of these up for yourself, there's a link down in the description box below. Otherwise, this video here will take you through what I believe is the best FPV travel drone around. Pair it with this bag and hey, you might be onto something.